Welcome to the Context Machine, episode number 720. I'm Bryan Chavin.
And I'm Jeff Gamet. Bryan, since I have this this penchant, this je ne sais quoi, for doing weird stuff with the numbers, 720, that's an area code in Colorado. Anyhow, we have a website, contextmachine.io. Go check us out.
Yep, you can use contextmachine.io to reach out to us, or you can find us on Threads at Context Machine Podcast, or on Blue Sky at contextmachine.bsky.social.
Yes, you can. You can also stick around and learn about our awesome sponsor, Framer.
Yes, Framer. We appreciate them sponsoring us. We're going to tell you more about them later in the show.
We are. Hey, I mentioned check out our website. Also check out our website because we have some great merch there.
Oh, we do, don't we?
By the way, nice mug, Bryan.
Oh, thank you. Oh, do you mean this mug? Oh, yeah. Right, that mug.
This mug.
Right.
Yeah. This one right here. Yeah. Or t-shirts or hoodies or, more. Notebooks. Anyhow, go check out our merch.
Tea does a body good.
It does, and everything tastes better in a Context Machine mug.
Yes, it does. You can also, while you're on it, just while you're on our website, you can sign up for our newsletter. Our newsletter is a value-added thing. We do extra content. We're not just rehashing the show. We're not. We're actually, as of this writing, we're not, or this talking.
Yeah.
We aren't
with our spoken writing.
We aren't even sending out show notes via our newsletter. So people seem to like it. We would love it if you would join those people. I don't know, whatever.
You did great, Bryan. I'm really proud of you.
Yeah, I good.
Yeah.
I good. Anyway, right. So
this is the cross I bear. Okay, now go ahead.
There is a change coming in iOS 27. There's a little bit of we're seeing some whining and some discussion, and so a little bit of fear of change. But why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah. Okay. So the swipe gestures that you do on your iPhone and iPad to see notification center and the control center.
Yep.
So that's changing in 27, and so
iOS 27, which is coming out in probably September.
Yeah, but the betas are out now. Developer betas out right now,
right?
And so when you have Siri invoked, I believe that's when this changes. You end up swiping from a different location at the top of the screen to get your notifications. So,
and more particularly, the center pull down, which brought notifications to the past, will become the way to invoke Siri AI.
Yeah. So now you have to remember 3 different places at the top of the screen to swipe, so that you get if you're getting Notification Center, Siri, or Control Center.
Right. And as we were reading about this before we started recording the show, I was reminded who did that. That's 9 to 5 Mac. They did a nice little article on this. We'll have that linked in the show notes. And they noted that the last time, and I'm quoting from who wrote this. Zach Hall wrote this. Love Zach.
Hi, Zach.
They noted the last time Apple made a change to accessing Notification Center came when Control Center moved from a swipe up gesture from the bottom to a top right corner swipe down gesture on iPhone X or iPhone 10.
iPhone 10.
iPhone 10. Yes, I did. No one will know that I said that now. Anyway, Apple later unified this experience across devices. So anyway, that reminded me that this was a change once upon a time.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember being a little pissy about that change because, I don't want to change my muscle memory, and, why does Apple do this? And I hadn't thought about that in years. And that will be the same this time around. I don't think that adding three different places, not adding, but having three different places to swipe down, getting three different places, getting three different results. I don't think that's Apple going crazy, and I think that's Apple adding functionality that will probably make sense once I've used it.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. And at the same time, I watch friends and family members who are not deep into all this tech stuff like we are
Mm-hmm.
get super frustrated with what to us seems like a basic nuance. Just, if you swipe here, you get this. Swipe here, you get this. And they're like, I'm just swiping. I don't know what I'm getting. And it doesn't make sense.
Hmm.
And so I
That's a fair
think
point.
that on one hand, this can limit or reduce the number of motions you need to use to accomplish a specific thing. But on the other hand, I think it's going to add confusion for a lot of people. And okay, just as long as we're talking about confusion, okay, everyone look at me because, excuse me, I'm just confused most of the time. The change that I have not been able to overcome is on my Apple Watch. There's the push the crown and push the lozenge button, and they changed what those do.
Yeah, that's true.
And I still just have to push the buttons. My brain cannot remember which thing to push.
That's true. And I have specifically whined about some other minor change that Apple underwent, or that has had us undergo recently. I get the frustration with Apple changing minor things from operating system to operating system, and it's particularly true when it's changed in a relatively short time. I feel like this particular swipe down issue will not be as big a thing as some of the smaller things, like the which button to push on your watch.
Yeah, could be. And I think there's actually a bigger problem here for Apple, because I appreciate them changing things to improve usability.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a problem here, and it's an ongoing problem for Apple, for other companies too, and it's discoverability. And we've talked about discoverability for music and TV shows and movies.
Yeah,
I'm talking about discoverability of features and actions on your devices. So, how do you convey that you need to swipe in different locations to do something, from the top of your screen, and have that presented in a way that's accessible for average users, but not obtrusive?
So I would have guessed that Apple would include doing this in their new setup. So when you install iOS 27, you'll get you would probably have the option of skipping it, but if you don't skip it, you would go through and you would swipe down in the three places, and they would, each one would tell you what you're going to get and what you have to do. I'm expecting something like that.
That makes sense. But what happens the day after that when you don't remember because you've got your muscle memory from
Well,
before.
yeah. So again, I feel like these swipe down gestures in particular are prevalent enough that they will be more easily remembered than what to do about a window, or even what to do about application switching. Application switching is not something you necessarily do every day. And I feel like these swipe down things are probably something you would do, that many people will do multiple times a day.
Yeah, okay, so
that
makes sense.
helps with the muscle memory.
Yeah. And then for the rest of the people, I think ultimately these become features they just don't use.
Yeah, that's probably true. And I'm also reminded that, do you remember when Apple first went to the new Mac updates every year? The new major operating system updates? Because that was before iPhone. If I recall correctly. I want to say that was like in the 2002 to 2006 time period. I could be wrong. Wrong. When did like Jaguar come out?
I don't even remember anymore. But if only we had a tool that could tell us. And so Brian, while you're looking up on the internet, I am launching Mac Tracker.
Yeah. Oh yeah, excellent. Please do that.
All right. So
that was 2002.
That was Jaguar 2002.
Okay, great. So I remember specifically thinking like, man, Apple doing this once a year, that's gonna feel like a lot. That's gonna, I mean, like, how do you? We don't even have time to get settled into these new operating systems. I remember thinking that. I might have even written something about that at the Mac Observer. I don't remember for sure if I wrote something, but I was definitely thinking, worrying about a yearly update cycle for macOS being a little too much. And it turns out that Apple didn't check with me, and
I'm shocked
that they have done just fine with these new operating system releases every year. I mean, I do still feel like a major operating system release every year is probably a little much for a lot of users. But it seems like Apple's doing okay with it, and it seems like we're as users are doing okay with it too.
Okay. I think that there is a subset of users that are doing okay with it, and we're the people that are trying to stay on top of this all the time. I think outside of that, there's probably quite a few people that choose not to install operating system updates because they don't see a need to. It's not something they think about. And
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, our buddy Sam. Sam Hoke.
Hey, Sam.
Yep. He's probably not listening.
Oh, screw that guy.
Yeah. Anyway, he gets very frustrated with the changes, and I get Sam is probably one of the closest things to a properly average user of Apple products of all the people we know. He's super smart, doesn't really care about if he's going to use a tool, it's going to be to help him. He doesn't revel in his iPhone. He doesn't revel in an iPad. He doesn't revel in his MacBook Air that he got. And that's probably an alien concepts to most of the people listening to us right now.
I venture to say it is not alien to them because they have friends and family members who fall into that same group.
Right. I mean, you're right, and I meant alien in terms of what we and our listeners are thinking about
sure.
our own usage. But you make an important distinction. So anyway, my point is that he gets frustrated when things change, and that's fair.
That's totally fair. And I get that for some people, just change in general, it's a very frustrating thing for them. I think for other people, change is frustrating because they finally figure out how to do something, and now they have to do it a different way.
Right. I get frustrated when the change is actually not an improvement.
Oh,
I tend to welcome changes that are improvements. I mean, even if I get a little bit pissy about having to relearn something, in general, I'm probably going to be supportive if it's actually an improvement. But when Apple removes functionality or makes it harder to access functionality, I get super pissy about that.
Same. Yeah. Okay. Here's a couple that annoy me to this day. Remember how you used to be able to have your icons, all of your icons on your desktop, and then like use an Apple script or whatever, and arrange them exactly how you want them. So everything's always where you want it, which is great if you're jumping between screens because you can reset where everything is. Can't do that anymore. And so I'm routinely having to move my hard drive icons back in the right place because for whatever reason, that's not where they show up when I connect my external monitor again.
Definitely a hard drive icon in the right place.
It's, I mean, you're right, but also, if you expect to see something in the same place all the time, it's like I have the same thing in my own house. I know where I set something down. That's where I expect to find it when I go looking again. Here's another one for you. Remember when you could slide a window across the screen and it would just gracefully move across? Like you end up seeing it on half of it on one screen, half of it on the other as you're moving it. And you can't do that anymore.
Really?
You can't.
I'm going to try that out right now.
And now you're about to be pissed off.
Huh.
Because you can't.
Huh. That seems counterproductive and unreasonable.
I agree. And yet here we are.
Huh.
It's okay. We just uncovered for me, so thank you for the therapy. Part of what makes the whole change thing a big deal for a lot of people. Mac OS, iPhone OS, iPad OS, these operating systems, these are, I'm going to actually go way out on a limb here. These are not user-friendly operating systems. They're very complicated, and there's a lot that you have to learn to do the stuff you want to do on your computer. Compared to other operating systems, this is better. But this is not the user-friendly bicycle of the mind Steve Jobs envisioned with the original Macintosh. This is very convoluted and complicated.
John Keat is singing hallelujah.
It's, oh man,
Hey John.
Yeah, hey John, I love you, man, but I feel really bad that I just acted as an enabler for you. Because now we're not going to hear the end of it for a while. But in this case, John, you are right. All operating systems are a hot mess, and there's a lot of frustration that goes along with learning how to use an operating system, and because they are so complex. When you finally figure out how to do something, it's like, oh, okay, that's one less stress in my life. And then a new operating system version comes out, and it's like, well, crap, now I don't know how to do the thing because it's not the same anymore.
So a couple of side notes. One, I sorted this issue with the desktop by keeping 1,000 windows open, so I never see my desktop, and then keeping 1,000 files on my desktop so that I have to use a Finder window view to actually find anything in the Finder. So that's how I solve that. Yay me!
Oh, hit that bumper. Let's end the show right there because I think we just solved it.
The other thing I was going to say is that Tim Cook is not a product guy, right? We've talked about that.
That's true.
repeatedly since before he became CEO, before Steve Jobs passed away. And in fact, I was famously wrong about saying that, no, Tim Cook's not going to get the CEO job. He's not a product guy. Steve Jobs told us that you got to have a product guy in charge of a product company. Right?
Until he changed his mind.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't even think he changed his mind. I mean, see, he was complaining about Steve Ballmer at Microsoft at that point when he was talking about having a
which
product
was
guy.
a legit complaint.
And as he started getting sicker, he didn't say that again because he knew that he was going to put Tim Cook in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So anyway, he stopped singing that particular tune, but I was scoffing. Like we'd have meetings at TMO, and we'd with the staff meetings, and we'd talk about like who would be CEO, and people would say Tim Cook. It's like, you guys are nuts, man. He's not a product guy. So anyway, the point is, Tim Cook is still not a product guy. He doesn't really care about the product. And I don't mean that in a belittling way. I know that he loves Apple. I know that he loves his products, but he doesn't care about them the way Steve Jobs did. And
can I be maybe pedantic?
Sure.
I don't think care's the right word in this case, because I think he really does care very deeply about the products. I think he just has a different perspective on the products than Steve Jobs had.
He doesn't care about the fine details. He doesn't care about he does not care about the fine details. That 5% that Steve Jobs obsessed over.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Most companies are dealing with the 90% of a product. And some companies will deal with 95% of a product. Steve Jobs focused on that last 5%. That's why when he came back from his first medical leave, and he immediately poo-pooed the iPad development and said, no, we can't release this because and we don't know specifically what his issues were, but he was very concerned about some of those 5% details.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Tim Cook doesn't care about. He doesn't notice. He doesn't care. He trusts his people to deal with stuff, and that's fine, and that's good. My point is, will John Turnus change this? I feel like John Turnus is a product guy, and he might be the person to maybe fix some of these things that have gone a little astray under Tim Cook.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. John does come from the engineering trenches, if you will.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, so he has a different perspective on the products than Tim has.
Yes, he does. All right. I feel like I should tell you about Framer.
I would love to hear about Framer.
Well, Framer is a pro website builder, and it's trusted by big companies like Miro or Perplexity. And what they do is they help creators, teams, and businesses ship production-ready sites faster than ever. And they have built AI agents directly into the canvas. So this allows your teams to develop and design pages, manage CMS content, write copy, add SEO, all of those things that web developers have to do, all without leaving the tool where the real site lives. Agents bring speed and scale. You bring taste, judgment, and control. Prompt, inspect, edit, and publish in one place at a whole new pace. When new landing pages turn into a pile of tickets and handoffs, Framer helps your team move faster. Teams can collaborate in real time, iterate on the same page, and publish instantly. Agents help you go beyond the vibe-coded site in a first draft to bring you production-ready sites faster than ever. And agents in Framer work alongside teams to streamline collaborations on the same canvas. They build custom code components. They create and manage CMS content. They optimize your SEO settings and ship everything all in one place. So learn how you can get more out of your site from a Framer specialist, or get started building for free today at framer.com/TCM for 30% off a Framer Pro annual plan. That's framer.com/TCM for 30% off. One more time, because I love you guys.
Mhm.
Framer.com/TCM. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Hey, thank you, Framer, for being our sponsor today.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Framer. We appreciate your sponsorship, and we hope everyone goes and checks them out.
Yeah.
All right. So we have a slightly different topic for our second topic, and
Mhm.
that's some news, some lunar news. Why don't you tell us about it?
Sure. Okay. So, I found an interesting article on Ars Technica about a plan that NASA is working on. They may take the twin for the Perseverance rover that's on Mars. Okay, Perseverance rover's on Mars. The twin is on Earth. There we
Right.
go. Are you happy, Mr. Mostly Pedantic?
And yes, I am. Except for I don't really like calling it a twin. This was basically the version of the Perseverance rover that they built for testing here on Earth.
Yeah. So they built two. One designed to go to Mars and one for testing here on Earth, so
Right.
that they could have a test bed for troubleshooting or whatever they needed before transmitting code updates or other instructions to
Right.
Perseverance on Mars. And so that's what this one was for. And this one's name is Promise, I believe.
Okay.
Anyhow, so the idea is, and they're exploring whether or not they can, I guess, ultimately get funding to do this. Take Promise and replace some of the sensor packages, and then go put this on the moon and let it explore around the South Pole.
I love this.
I mean, okay, so me too. It's super cool. And part of what makes it super cool for me is that because it has a plutonium power source, that means it doesn't have to rely on solar power for charging.
So basically, it has a nuclear
it's a little mini nuclear reactor in it. Yeah, a warp core. And so this can be in the South Pole on the moon, and it would be in the dark a lot. Don't have to worry about that because the power supply is self-contained. It can continue to do its job. And so you do exploration around the South Pole, and then ultimately the data that they collect can be useful in planning for a permanent lunar establishment.
Right. And I love this. This is terrific news. I'm glad that they're going to actually use this device that's already built. That's great.
Yeah, it's a clever idea.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that this is just now coming up, but whatever.
Well, there's a lot that would have to go into coming up with this idea. Like, first, someone's like, we've got a rover built and sitting here,
and we have rockets that can get it there. Between Blue Origin and SpaceX's Starship.
Yeah, that's true. So then, so now we have a way to get this there. Then we've also apparently hit a point where we don't need to have Promise as a test bed for stuff that we're dealing with for Perseverance. So it becomes a device that we don't have a real use for anymore.
Right.
But then, okay, Brian,
here's much better than it just being scrapped.
Yeah.
Or kept in a museum.
And a lot cheaper than building something new to send to the moon. Another thing that they'll have to deal with.
They will have to modify it for dealing with the particular kinds of dust on the moon.
You're reading my mind. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I will elaborate on that. On Mars, there is an atmosphere. It's very thin, but there's an atmosphere. On the moon, there is not. So the dust, it's actually regolith. So it's very sharp particles, and it's like mini razor blades, just the whole surface of the moon.
Yeah.
So you need to find a way to protect the mechanical, electronic, and sensors, all the equipment on this device, so that you don't get that regolith up in there, and then it just starts like grinding and cutting through everything.
Right. So the other thing I like about this is that this will science fiction story. 40, 50 years in the future, there are astronauts on the moon. Something happens. Maybe there's an asteroid hit. They lose access to their light, their atmosphere generating stuff in their moon base. And someone remembers that there's this now silent rover down the South Pole with a nuclear generator, and if they can get to that and get it back to their habitat, they might be able to save themselves. So it's a science fiction story waiting to happen.
I love it.
Right.
I'm looking forward to reading it after you write it, Brian.
Excellent. I could definitely do a short story on that.
I want to read it.
Ooh, maybe that'll be my Hope Punk story for the anthology we're working on.
There you go. Shh. Okay. Shh. All of us here. We're not going to say a thing.
Yeah.
Right, everyone?
Don't tell anyone. All right. So anyway, this is great news. I'm delighted. I certainly hope something comes of this. I mean, I don't think this is an official plan. This is just talk at this point. And who knows what the current administration will do.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm hoping that something comes of this, and it's a cool thing. We'll have a link to the show notes in the Ars Technica article. It's a good article. And
you got that backwards, but I believe in you. We will have a link to the article in the show notes.
Huh? What did I say? Link to the show notes in the article?
Huh?
Yeah.
I only bring it up because mostly pedantic.
Yeah, mostly, but in this case, accurately. Anyway, yes. We'll have a link to the article in the show notes. And it's a good article.
That sounds like a great idea, Brian.
Yeah, it does. And one that we've not heard before.
Right.
Right. Okay. So on that happy note, that is this week's Context Machine. If you have anything to comment on, add or question, you can write us at podcast@contextmachine.io. Our bandwidth is provided by CacheFly. The bass is by Dr. Boom, recorded just for the show. And just going to tell you about our sponsor.
I am. Our sponsor is Framer. Thank you, Framer. Go to our website, click on the link, check them out.
Yeah, thank you, Framer, and thanks to all our listeners. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons. If you're watching us on YouTube, leave us a review. Leave us a review on YouTube, on Spotify, if you haven't canceled your Spotify account yet, or on your
Apple
iTunes.
Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts, yes, iTunes.
You're so old.
I am. That's sadly true.
You need to go check your iTools account.